keeps pulling me back. It's your love, love. It's your love, love. It's your love keeps pulling me back. Love keeps pulling me back. Your love keeps pulling me back. Love keeps pulling me back. Like a sunrise horizon, you're always there, always shining, building me up with the song you'd sing.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and hello. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome into the Idea Academy stream. Well, not our last stream. Our next to last stream, probably of 20. Well, wait a minute. What when is Christmas? Christmas is okay. So next week will be the 26th. So we'll do a stream next week for sure. But hello, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the Idea Academy, where we focus on all things about our personal growth, our leadership, and our communication. And I hope that you guys are ready for this today. I'm excited for this. I've been excited for this. I've been thinking about this all day. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Want to welcome you in, whether you're on the YouTube side or whether you are on the Twitch side. Want to yeah, I want to encourage you to let us know you're here in the chat. Good evening. Hello. Welcome, Brishkarts. Good to see you. Good to see you. Listen, guys, today I want to talk about 2025, guys. Let's get real about 2025. 2024 is almost over. I mean, we are a week out of 2024, and I'm going to tell you, 2024 has been my best year ever. It's been amazing. It's been incredible. I have done things in 2024 that I thought I would never, ever do, and I hope that you have too. But I'm not satisfied, and I hope you're not satisfied because I want 2025 to be a better year than 2024. I want 2025 to be the best year ever, both for you and for me. And I think that if we focus together, we can do it. So, listen, guys, we're going to jump right into content today. Welcome in, Mike. It's good to see you. I want to, again, encourage you to continue to let me know you're here in chat. Throw out your comments. We want to keep this interactive. We want to talk to each other. We want to have a dialogue and a conversation. But I've got a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. I'm so excited. So let's talk about today. We're going to talk about the things that are holding you back, the things that hold us back from greatness, the things that hold us back from having a bigger life. And here's the metaphor that I like to use, right? I like to think of the game Pitfall. Do you remember Pitfall? It was by Activision back in 1983, I think, is when, or 86, I don't know. In the early 80s at some point was the game called Pitfall, and you played this little guy called Pitfall Harry who was just like Indiana Jones, and he would run around and capture treasure. And at one stage of this game, he's got these three crocodiles that are in a pond, and he's got to jump over those. And I like to think those three crocodiles like the obstacles that are holding us back. They're the things that we're afraid of that are keeping us from the treasure that's on the other side of that, right? And so it's so important that we make a change in 2025. But I want to talk about the three crocodiles we're going to have to defeat to get to the best 2025 we can possibly have. Really quick, here's what they are. And I'm here to tell you guys, listen, the reason that I'm telling you about these things is because I've faced them. And not only have I faced them, but I've seen other people who have also run into these, and I've seen how they got through them, and I know how I got through them. And so I'm speaking from a position of experience today, guys. This is something that I deal with, that I've dealt with, and that you might deal with too. And so today we're going to pick this apart. So here's the three crocodiles. The first crocodile is your limiting beliefs. We're going to talk about the stories you tell that hold you back. Second thing, disorganization. We don't like to talk about disorganization, but the fact of the matter is, every one of us deals with it in one way or another, right? So we're going to talk about how those lack of systems or structures keeps us from staying on track. And then the last thing is, this is the one that's really painful for most people, and that's lack of accountability. Lack of accountability means that sometimes we rely on other people, or we don't have any structures that hold us to the goals that are going to get us to where we want to be in 2025. So those are the three things. Listen, today we're going to look those crocodiles in the face. We're going to jump right on top of their heads, just like Pitfall Harry did. And I am here to tell you that they are not going to hold us back in 2025. And at the end of the stream today, at the end of the live stream, I've got an offer for you. I've got an additional offer for you that I think is going to be life changing. It's going to be world changing. I'll talk more about that towards the end of the stream, but stick around for that. You're not going to want to miss it. So listen, guys, we By the end of today, you're going to have strategies for defeating those three crocodiles going into 2025. Not only that, but you're going to have an opportunity to participate in something that's going to get your year kicked off the right way. Let's go. Let's get started. Welcome in, Head of Steel. Greetings later than usual, live streaming coach, streaming live coach, mods, Vips, and fellow crocodile conquerors. Thank you, Head of Steel. I appreciate you. Head of Steel, the main mod out there, making sure chat is safe for you guys. And I love that. All right, let's talk. Let's talk about this, guys. But before we talk about it, listen, if you're ready to go, if you're ready to start out 2025, and if you're ready to blow 2025 away and just make it the best we can make it, guys. Come on. If you're ready for that, well, I want to hear from you in chat today. I want to hear what the one thing is you're most excited to change in your life in 2025. And I want you to say it with conviction. I want you to say it with belief and to know that if we go to change that thing, we're going to change it. So throw it in chat. If you don't want to throw it in chat, totally fine. There's the slider that's out there. You can do it anonymously. You can just write it down on a piece of paper. But somewhere today, I want to know, and I want you to know, what are you excited about changing in 2025? Make it the best year ever. All right, let's get started. Let's jump into those three crocodiles, and let's start with number one. The first crocodile that I talked about, or the first obstacle that I talked about earlier, is the idea of limiting beliefs. So, if you don't know what limiting beliefs are, if you're totally new to the idea of limiting beliefs are the stories that we tell ourselves that keep us from being as good as we possibly could be. Right? It's a series of self-talk created roadblocks, if you will. Basically, when we say to ourselves, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have what it takes, those kinds of things. I'm not a morning person. You've heard me talk about this before. Oh, I'm not a morning person. I can't do that. When we become an I can't person, those are the types of things that limit us. And I'm going to tell you about real quick three limiting beliefs that I held in my life that held me back. Excited for lifestyle changes? Let's go. I'm excited for you too. That's exciting. Here's the three limiting beliefs that I had in my life, and I'll tell you. I'll kind of tell you a little bit about each one of these. But first, I want to talk to you about a change that happened in my life, maybe about I don't know about about 3 or 4 years ago. So about 3 or 4 years ago, I was in a really great career. I was having success by all measures at work. I had a great team that I was working with. I was doing really, really well, and I was miserable. I was even making a lot of money, guys, and I was miserable. And I would wake up miserable and I would go to bed miserable. And it was like my whole life was just an exercise in just being tired and worn out and joyless and just it was terrible. And I stopped to think about it. What I realized was that I hit the top. I was at the ceiling of what I believed that I could achieve. And so I had to examine why I thought I was at the top. Had I really reached the ceiling of my talents, of my abilities, of my disciplines, of my work? Had I really reached the top? Or was it just something I was saying to myself that was keeping me down? And here's what I found I found there were three things that I was telling myself that are not true. And that if you're telling yourself these things, then they will absolutely be holding you back. What's up, Ateritex? Welcome in, dude. Good to see you, man. Here are the three limiting beliefs that I had. Welcome in, Couch Co-op couple. Be great. Let's go. Three limiting beliefs that I had are as follows. Number one, success happens by accident. I believe that success happened by accident. I actually heard somebody tell me this. They told me, hey, you don't have control over your success. Some people get successful, some people don't. Success happens by accident. You know what? I believed that. I believed that if I hadn't been discovered or figured out, or, if I hadn't hit it luck or got the lottery or whatever it was, by that point in my life, I believed that there was nothing more I could do. I just had to be happy where I was. It's not true. guys. There's more. There's more than what you think you can see. And have you seen the movie Wonka? It's the Willy Wonka prequel that came out this last year. There's this great moment where Wonka's walking along with his little friend in the film, and they're looking at these flamingos, and she's like, "Hey, why don't they fly away?" And Willy Wonka says to her, he says, "Maybe they just haven't thought of it. Maybe flamingos need someone to show them the way." And that was me, guys. That was me. It wasn't that there wasn't freedom. It wasn't that there wasn't something bigger. It wasn't that there wasn't a way to fly out of my circumstances. It was that when I looked to my left and I looked to my right, nobody else was excelling. Nobody else was pushing for excellence. And as a result, I thought that was the state of the world, but it wasn't. What I found out was when I looked deeper, there were other people who were being successful who had started in the same place that I had. So the first limiting belief is that success happens by accident. It doesn't. It happens through hard work. It happens through dedication. It happens through intention, but it does not happen by accident, not sustainable success. The second thing that I believe for a long time in my life is that failure was the end. Was that like you could fail so hard that you would just be done. Did you ever have somebody when you were young, maybe they pointed to somebody who was, I don't know, on the street or, who looked like they were in jail or something like that. And they said, "Hey, you don't be careful, you're going to end up like them, right? You're going to end up like that person." And that's kind of what failure became for me. It became this idea that I could end up like somebody if I stuck my neck out too far. If I, you know, tried but then didn't get there, or maybe if I like invested a lot of my time and effort into something and then it crumbled apart, that would just be failure. That would be the end. There was no trying over. Well, listen, it's not true. It's absolutely not true. Not only is failure not the end, it's a necessary part of success. So listen to me right here, guys. I want you to fail in 2025. What? Yes. In order to succeed in 2025, I need you to fail as much as possible. But I need you to fail for the right reasons. I need you to fail because you're trying things that you didn't think were possible. And then when you fail, I need you to learn the lesson and to figure out what happened, what fell apart, and how you can get back up and do better the next time. Because it's only through our mistakes that we discover how to succeed. So, second limiting belief: failure is the end. And the third limiting belief, and this is probably the most out there, it's the most kind of ethereal one. The third limiting belief that a lot of us have is that we live in, and I'll put up air quotes here, we live in the real world, right? We live in the real world. Oh, yeah. Well, I know that guy got rich doing that thing over there, but I live in the real world. That would never work for me. Or, oh, yes, yes, I've heard all of your self-help nonsense before. Yeah, I know about creating disciplines and systems, but you know what? I live in the real world. I don't have time for that. I got to go to my job. It's the real world. I was driving with a friend of mine one time, and he said to me, we were driving down the road, and I don't even remember what triggered it, but we were talking about something that had gone not the right way, maybe. And I'm like, you know what? I just believe it's going to turn out right. I guess I'm just an optimist, was what I said. And this friend of mine looked at me. He said, "Well, I'm a realist." Realist. When he said it, you could hear the capital R on realist. And I'm here to tell you guys, if you're saying to yourself that you're a realist and your real world is a world where you can't get any further ahead than you are, then you're not a realist. You're a pessimist. You just don't like the sound of the word. So let's not be realists in 2025, guys. Let's throw that out. The third myth, that we live in the real world, let's get rid of that thing, guys. Let's not do that. Let's not believe it. Let's not believe that success happens by accident. Let's not believe that failure is the end. Let's not believe that we live in some kind of a real world where the success of other people and the advice of other people doesn't apply to us. That's the first obstacle. we've got to get over in 2025 is our limiting beliefs. Now, maybe your limiting beliefs are different. Maybe your limiting beliefs have to do with how you grew up or the color of your skin or your background or the way that you communicate or the way that you think about things. Maybe your limiting beliefs say, "No, I'm just a certain way. I am who I am." Listen, you're not trapped inside your own perception of yourself. The one thing I can tell you from having coached hundreds of people over the years is that you have the ability to change your life and to shape it in a better way. But you have to start by ending those limiting beliefs that you're imposing on yourself. I said it last week. The things that you say to yourself are the things that you will believe most deeply. And so if there are voices inside of you telling you that you can't, I want you to right now start developing a voice that says, "Yes, I can. You can." Listen, I'm going to be that voice for you. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. I'm here to help you, and I'm not the only one. There's a whole community of people who are out there who are going to help you get through this. But it's got to start from you. It's got to start with I can. So here's a thing. I want you right now to think of one limiting belief that you've got. Think of one way, and you don't have to put this in chat. This could be private if you want to. Of course, do. Listen, we share here. I'm going to be transparent. I gave you the things that I imposed on myself that have been limitations in my life. So if you want to put it in chat, let's talk about it. Let's work through it, right? But I want you to come up with one thing that you're saying to yourself that's keeping you back. And then I want you to replace that. I want you to replace it with a statement that says, you know what? I'm going to do that thing and I'm going to do it maybe in small ways. So like if I was saying to myself, "Oh, I'm terrible at consistency. I can't stay consistent." You're that can't. So anytime you're saying can't to yourself, you got to stamp that out. You got to get rid of the can'ts in your life. It's got to be you got to be like like the Campbell's company. Listen, I want you to be a Campbell's person in 2025. It's not about the can'ts, it's about the cans. They put soup in cans. I can't stay consistent. I can't stay consistent. No, I can build consistency through small daily steps. I can't lose weight. I can lose weight 1 pound at a time. I can't organize my life. I can organize my life today on Thursday. I can set up my calendar today. Take that can't and replace it with a can. What's one thing you can do? The smallest step that you can take towards success. That's what I want you to commit to. So think about that. Second thing, let's talk about number two. The second obstacle. I'm an American, not an Americant. Exactly. That's exactly right. I like that. Second thing, disorganization. Okay. Uh, you've probably heard it before. Disorganization is a lack of clarity and a lack of priorities. Clarity, what's clarity all about? Well, clarity is about what you're supposed to be doing with your life. So, I'm not saying you got to set a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 20-year plan. What I am saying is you have to decide the type of person that you want to become. Those few years ago, when I woke up and I realized I'm miserable every day. I'm getting up, I'm tired. Going to bed, I'm tired. I'm medicating myself physically and emotionally in dozens of ways because I can't bear the weight of the despair and the depression and the anxiety that I lived in. And what made the difference? What made the change? The change was I got clarity around what I was supposed to do. For me, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to serve other people in a way that introduces them to the best version of themselves. That's what I'm supposed to do. And once I leaned into that, started lifting up out of those places. And I'm not here to tell you guys that there's not such a thing as actual, clinical issues, depression and anxiety. These could be chemical things, they can be all kinds of things. But I am saying this. First of all, if that's the case, if you're living in that space, you got to seek out somebody who can help you. It's really important that you seek out somebody who can help you. But at the same time, you got to work on what you can work on. And what you can work on is the way that you see the world, because our mindset changes the way that we pursue everything that we do. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You got to get clarity. Know who it is that you want to become in 2025. Who do you want to become in 2025? I'll tell you who I want to become in 2025. I want to become somebody who is every day working with somebody to help them get better. That's what I want to do. I want to become someone who is laser focused on helping other people get better in their lives. And so as a result, I'm going to go to great pains to cut out a bunch of stuff. Maybe you want to become somebody who is healthy, who's looking after their health. Then I want you to start to think with clarity about that. What types of things is it going to require in order for you to become that type of person? But get clarity around who you want to be. And then the second thing is prioritize. You've got to prioritize. The reason that we don't get things done, procrastination is a lie, my friends. Procrastination is a lie. I heard it this week, and I wish I could remember who said it, and I don't. And I apologize to them because I'm going to quote them. I'll try to posthumously, I'm not dying, but I'll try to after the fact. I will try to cite the quotation. But this week, I heard somebody say that the reason we procrastinate is because we're not working on the things that matter to us. The reason we procrastinate is because we're not working on the things that matter to us. If you're finding yourself in a place where you're putting things off till the last minute, probably means you have your priorities misaligned. And don't you get caught in that myth of the real world. Oh, but I have to focus on this because this is my job and this is what I do and it's the only way I can make money and I can only feed my family. No, don't get caught up in that. Fine, do those things, get them done. Maybe even get them out of the way, but the things that you've got to put your effort into, your intention into, those things that you've got to spend the most of your energy on, they have got to be the things that matter most to you. And the things that matter most to you have got to be the things that are pushing you towards becoming your best self. How goes it? Hey, Ghost, what's up? That's deep. That is deep, man. I know. That's what I'm talking about. So if you run into a situation where you're procrastinating, look at your priorities. Here's an action step for you. And all of these are going to be available in an episode guide. I've got a free episode guide that you can get for every single episode. If you want it, all you have to do is go to my website. That's ideatrainingacademy.com. Right up at the top of the page, there's a blank. Right now it talks about a challenge, and we're going to get to that. But if you put your email into that blank, then what'll happen is I will email you the episode guide for this, and you'll get all of my notes on how I put this together. And sometimes I even have some free gifts that'll go along with that. Last week, I had a couple of different mental models and some things. So so definitely go to ideatrainingacademy.com, and please, by all means, just throw your email in there so that I can send that to you. If you don't have email, you don't like email, you don't use email, you can always direct message me on Discord or on whichever platform, right? If you're watching this back on YouTube, hit me up in the comments, say, hey, I want the free, I want the free guide. Just let me know and let me know where to send it to you, and I will message that to you directly. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Here's your action step for disorganization. And disorganization, it's not about the clutter on your desk. It could be about the clutter on your desk because maybe you need to clean up your workspace to get things done. Maybe the reason that you're not getting the things done in 2024 that you want to get done in 2025 is because there's too much crap in your life. And I'll tell you, there's too much crap in my life right now. That's why when I talk about getting laser focused, I talk about cutting things out. Guys, I'm going to make some big changes next year. I'm not going to talk about everything on the stream today, but I want to make some life-altering changes next year. And because the reason I'm making those changes is because those things that are in my life right now, they're distracting me from that person that I need to become. Your desk is very cluttered. Hey, some people can work with a cluttered desk, other people can't. But you've got to keep your life uncluttered And you can only do that by knowing what your priorities are. Here's your action step. Write yourself a list for today. Maybe not for today. We're late for today. For tomorrow. For tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. We're going into the weekend. I want you to write yourself a simple list tomorrow morning. I don't want a to-do list that's 20 items long, that's 30 items long, that's 50 items long. I don't want that for you because that's a task list. That's not priorities. Here's what I want. Tomorrow, you get up. I want you to take a sheet of paper or do it on your phone or your notes app or whatever it takes. And I want you to write down a top 3 focus list for today. So I want you to take 3 things and 3 things only that you can focus on that are going to move you towards a better day tomorrow, towards being the person that you want to be. 3 things. And I don't want you to end your day until those 3 things are done. And you know what? If you don't get to them for whatever reason, then at the end of the day, I want you to ask yourself why. Was it because you put things down that weren't really important? Or was it because you fell into the myth of the real world and you thought that being grown up was more important than getting the things done that are going to make you better? Right? So that's your action step. Tomorrow, I want a top 3 focus list for today. So the second obstacle that we're going to run into in 2025 that we're going to obliterate in order to crush your goals is going to be disorganization. We're going to get rid of disorganization. We're going to get rid of limiting beliefs. We're going to get rid of disorganization. I only play video games at my desk. Well, then that's fine. And last, we're going to get rid of lack of accountability. Now, here's the thing, guys. Accountability, if you grew up like I did, you learned a lot about accountability. There was accountability. I remember when I was, when I was a kid coming up through churches and on into when I went to Bible college, there was a lot about, oh, you should have an accountability partner, an accountability partner. And nobody ever did it, right? Because an accountability partner is somebody that you're like, okay, well, whatever this habit is that I want to change, I'm going to go to you and I'm going to tell you every time I do it. And like no kid and no young adult is naturally going to do that, right? Why? Because in order to be accountable that way, you've got to build a certain level of trust with other people. And often, as a younger or more immature person, it's hard for us to be that vulnerable. It's hard for us to be that trusting. So I'm not saying go out and get an accountability partner. What I'm saying is be accountable to yourself in 2025. Be accountable to yourself in 2025. Shift that need from external accountability to internal accountability. Now listen, maybe that's hard, right? Maybe that's not where you're at right now. So here's a hack for you. If if it's a safe thing, right? If it's not as something that, you're not going to quit like doing drugs or something like that. It's not something like that. Make a public commitment. And this is where I know I talked about shift yourself to personal accountability, but make a public commitment. Start there. Start by being accountable to somebody else. Really do get a partner. Get somebody that you trust. That somebody that you can really rely on, that's not going to judge you, but that you're going to have to say, "Hey, this is what I did or this is what I didn't do." Right? Just take that small step because studies have shown, multiple studies have shown that when we commit to things out loud, it's a lot harder to not do them. It's a lot harder to not follow through. But above all else, I want you to have the goal by the end of 2025. I want you to have the goal of being fully accountable to yourself, of knowing that when you commit to do something, you're going to show up to do it. I think it was Kobe that said, Kobe Bryant, that talked about he would pre-decide everything. He would pre-decide everything. So when he went to show up to practice, it wasn't a question of whether he was going to do that practice because he'd already decided. He'd already made the decision. He'd already made the commitment to himself and he was going to keep it. I want you to get to that space where you're making commitments to yourself and you are keeping those commitments because you know that it's the only way for you to get stronger, for you to get better, and for you to become the person that you were meant to become. Guys, it is not about living life happy. A lot of people are so busy trying to get to a happy life that they don't recognize that happiness is a byproduct of being successful. It's not an end goal. It's not, it's not that we're always aiming for happiness. If you're doing that, you'll never achieve it. But when you succeed at the things that matter, and that's up for you, that's up to you to decide, right? Not everybody's definition of success is the same. It doesn't have to be, you're a millionaire next year and that's success. It's not that. I just heard a guy on one of the podcasts that I was listening to. He talked about his definition of success is when the people who know him best respect him most. And he talked about that being his family, right? His wife and his kids. And he said, success for me is when the people who know me best respect me the most. That could be your measure of success, right? But set the bar high for yourself. Set the bar high. Give yourself room to grow. Create an expectation of growth. Don't let yourself settle. You are made for so much more than the life that you're living today. You are made for so much more than the life that you're going to live tomorrow. And even when you win in 2025, you know what I'm going to say? We're going to make 2026 better because you have the power to do it. You have every resource that you need within your grasp. We live in an amazing age. We live in an age of absolute wonders. I hear these people talk about, well, this wasn't the future that I was promised, right? And they talk about it's because there's no jetpacks and flying cars and whatever else. But you know what? This is the future you were promised. This is the best future for you. And it's only getting better. It's getting better every day. And I want you to be a part of that. So here's your action step for lack of accountability. I want you to write down one habit or action that you want to track. I want you to write down one habit or action that you want to track. Now, again, when we get a little bit closer to the end of the show today, I'm going to tell you about something that I'm going to do this next year that is going to help you get started on the right foot. And it's going to be around this particular obstacle, this lack of accountability. Because when I look at my own life, this is one of the things that held me back the longest. Because I'm really good. Are you really good at hiding your weaknesses? Man, I am so good at hiding my weaknesses. And I don't say that to brag. It's actually a character flaw. But I am so good at hiding my weaknesses. I am so good at when something comes along and it's not exactly right, or I let the ball drop or something like that. I am so good at spinning that and making it sound like, you know what? It was out of my control, or oh yeah, you know what? I wasn't aware of that, or I'm so good at that, guys. I'm too good at it. And you know what I need to cure that is I need better accountability in my life. I need to be more accountable to myself. I need to be more accountable to other people. And so the reason that I'm challenging you in the new year around accountability is because I'm challenging me in terms of accountability. And I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard this next year. And I want you to hold yourself to a higher standard in the new year as well. So listen, I talking about this accountability, I want to introduce to you the idea of an accountability loop. You know what well, you know what a loop is, right? A loop is a circle that closes itself. And I'm in one of the businesses that I'm in is the business of information and referral. And so I work with a company who helps people get their needs met when they don't know how to get them met. So if they don't have food, or they don't have shelter, or whatever it is, they can call in, and I run a team of people that helps them get their needs met. But we like to talk about not just referrals. Referral would be, hey, you called me up. Oh, you need some food? Okay, here's the number for the local food bank. Good luck to you. Right? That's a referral. But we are now talking about what's called a closed loop referral. And a closed loop referral means that you call us up, I need food. We're going to say, okay, we're going to refer you to the food bank. And then we're going to make sure we close the loop on that referral by making sure that the food bank has a way to report back to us whether or not you got service. And if you didn't, then we're going to continue try and find a way for you to get service. So that's what we talk when you're talking about loops. We're talking about loops. We're talking about closing the loops. Tal, welcome in. Good evening, Orpheus and family. So good to see you, Tal. Good evening to see you. Um, let's talk about the daily accountability loop. This is something that I would love for you to establish for yourself in the new year. So here's what it is. And I went through a bunch of different iterations of this. First, it was like really confusing. There was a lot of colors and boxes and shades and things like that. And I thought, you know what? Like a lot of my audience is like me, when I just started this journey a little while ago, is we're new to personal development. We're new to this idea of personal growth. And so I don't want to like throw a bunch of obstacles in people's way by making something that's hyper complicated. So I try to make this as easy as possible. Something so easy, even I can use it. And here's what it is. In the morning, every morning, I would like you just to ask yourself three questions. Three questions. Three, three, three. That's it. And I really want you to focus on answering these questions. And I'd love for you to write them down if you could. And you know what? If for whatever reason, that's not your cup of tea, if you absolutely cannot bring yourself to write it down or to take it down in your notes app or whatever else, then at the very least, I want you to ask these questions to yourself in the morning and I want you to answer them. And here are the three questions. Number one, who do I want to be today? Who do I want to be today? Right? This is a question of how do I want to show up? So, who do I want to be today? When I ask myself, who do I want to be today? What I said is, I want to be the positive man in the room who is there to serve other people. That's who I wanted to be today. The positive man in the room who's there to serve other people. And you know what? That was super hard today, guys. I had to drive down 45 minutes down south to do one interview today. And I got on the road and I was going to drive down there. And first thing this morning, I had all kinds of problems. I had a bunch of social media stuff that was going to go out this morning. And it was a chaos and it was havoc. And Facebook turned a post into an event. And then it put the event on the wrong day. And it was a nightmare. Right. So, but I said, you know what? I'm going to be a positive person who's here to serve other people. I'm going to recognize that emotion of frustration, but I'm not going to let it make me feel frustrated. I want to let it go. And then I got in my car and I got on the road to go down those 45 minutes. As I'm driving along, I realize traffic is terrible. I don't know what's happening. I guess people are traveling early for Christmas. I don't know, but it was back to back to back. I mean, I could not drive 65 miles per hour on the freeway because it was so busy almost the whole way. And I started to get really mad. I started to like want to yell at you. You just want to, when you're on the road with other people who are driving terribly, don't you just want to, man, let them know how you feel about it? But I said to myself, I'm not going to do it. Going to do it. Today, I'm going to be a positive man who's here to serve. And then I was driving down the road. I was about half an hour away from my destination. And I get a call. And they said, hey, your 1 o'clock appointment is here and wants to see you. And I looked down at my clock and I saw it was 12:30. And I said, what do you mean? My 1 o'clock appointment is there. It's 12:30. And they're like, yeah, she's early. She wants to see you. And I said, I can't see her. I'm in the car. I'm driving. I'm 30 minutes away because our appointment is at 1 o'clock. And, I had to stop myself because I got really irritated with that person who showed up early. Isn't it funny how somebody can do something that's totally innocuous? It's even the right thing to do, right? You're coming to an interview, showing up early is like a great thing to do. I would always recommend the people that I career coach, I would always recommend that they show up early. Maybe not 30 minutes. 30 minutes might be a little bit early. But because I wasn't in the right mindset, I started to get irritated with that person. And I had to stop myself. And I had to say, today you're a positive man who's here to serve other people. You can't let that baggage hang around. And so I got down there, did the interview. Great interview. Met a really interesting person, learned a lot of things from them. Got to spend some time with some colleagues that I deeply love and appreciate. Got back in my car, came home. And you know what? Today, when I asked myself this morning, who do I want to be today? I said, I want to be a positive man who's here to serve others. And so far, so good. People are afraid of the drones stopping things for Christmas. Yes, that could be. That could be. A second question I want you to ask yourself in the morning. Again, if you want these, if you want these, I will put them. You can hit me up in the Discord, or you can go to ideatrainingacademy.com, pop your email in there, and I will gladly send these to you. Um, Second question: what will I focus on to move closer to my goals? So this is assuming that you know what your goals are, right? But what am I going to do today to elevate? What am I going to focus on, right? So maybe it's a specific task, right? Maybe it's like, hey, you know what? I am going to sit down, I'm going to look at my calendar, and I'm going to put the important things on the calendar. That's going to be my focus for the day. And by the way, guys, that's a pretty good focus for a day. If you're not taking at least one day a week to sit down and look at your calendar and to organize it in terms of priority, then honestly, you're running on fumes. Like you're not, it goes back to that second obstacle, that disorganization. If you don't have a calendar, if you're not using a way to prioritize your week, and I'll tell you, here's a little hack that I have. I use a color code on my calendar. So I use just a regular Google Calendar, very boring, not exciting, not tech oriented. But I go to the Google Calendar and I put different colors on things. So I put a certain color for family time. I put a certain color for stream time. I put a certain color for working on my book, Be Great, which comes out in 2025. That's another thing that's going to happen in 2025. I put a certain amount of time for, for study, for all of these things, right? And then what I do is I go and I look at the blocks of color on my calendar. And if the area where I want to focus, if it's out of balance, then I got to find a way to balance that. If my focus for today is to work on that book, and it's for me, it's green, right? Work on my book is green, and my calendar is all red, and red are physical things where I have to be present, physically present. Then I need to restructure my week somehow. Maybe I got to be at those things today, but maybe I need to cancel some things tomorrow so I can get that book back into balance. So what are you going to focus on? How will you focus today? Second question. What will I focus on to move closer to my goals? And then number 3, this is really important. Right now it's work, eat, shower and sleep. There you go. Right now, the third thing that I want to talk about. This is so important, guys. I can't oversell the importance of it. Third question I want you to ask every day is, how will I make a positive impact? Because here's the thing, what we do for ourselves is it ends when we die. What you do for yourself ends when you go to sleep. It ends when no one else is in the room. It ends when you're gone. What you do for yourself is not going to last. And this is one of the reasons that I'm not a big fan. And it's really important to value yourself. It's really important to, to love yourself and to appreciate yourself. But man, I am not a fan of self-help systems that begin and end with just loving yourself. Oh, I love myself. So great. I'm so valued and so worthy. And all of those things are great and important. But if that's the end of your system, then your life is meaningless. Because the only things that we do that live beyond the confines of ourselves are the way that we make an impact on other people, the way that we make an impact on the world. I believe that you are a being that was designed to create echoes in eternity. Like the whole butterfly effect, right? Like the butterfly that flaps its wings in Brazil and it creates a tidal wave in Japan, right? Aku, welcome in. What made me wear glasses? That's a great question, and I'll tell you the thing that made me wear glasses was my terrible eyesight. I cannot see. So So let's see. So number 3, how will I make a positive impact? How are you going to make a positive impact today? What are you going to do to make the world better? If you're not going to do anything to make the world better, if you're not going to do anything to improve the world that's around you, then honestly, you're never going to grow. You're never going to get to where you want to be. You're never going to feel better about yourself because the secret of self improvement and of constantly working on ourselves is that eventually it feels shallow, it dries up. But when we see that we have an ability to impact the world, that makes us feel better. And it's going to get you out of bed in the morning. So, 3 questions I want you to ask in the mornings, just tomorrow. Ask yourself tomorrow. You're on the safety team at work. Let's go. I love that. It's so good. So good. How are you making an impact? Good. Safety team. I also completed the seed work. Yes, leadership. Leadership is one of the most important ways that we can make an impact on the world. And you know what? If you don't believe you're a leader, the fact of the matter is you are a leader in some aspect of your life. But that's for another episode. We'll talk about that later. The 3 questions I want you to ask in the morning are, who do I want to be today? What am I going to focus on today to move closer to my goals? How will I make a positive impact today? It was a great year for growth. That's amazing, Tal. And I know, you know what? What I believe is that I believe 2025 is if you keep at what you're doing, if you keep focused the way that you've been focused, 2025 is going to be better. It's going to be a bigger year. Your life is going to expand in ways that you cannot possibly imagine. I believe that for you. I know that's going to happen for you. I'm so excited for that to happen for you. So ask those 3 questions. Okay, here's what I'm going to ask you to do right now. I believe that. I love it. I love it. I want you to pick one of the 3 morning questions. One of the 3 morning questions. Who do I want to be today? What will I focus on to move close to my goals? How will I make a positive impact? One of those 3 questions. Pick any one of those. I want you to answer it live right now. Either in chat, throw it in the chat, answer one of those questions in chat, or if you got a piece of paper or a notebook or something next to you, I want you to write it down. But I want you to put this on paper. I want you to make this real because I believe that when we focus on things and we say them out loud and when we get them down on paper, we can make things real. It's not a metaphysical question of manifesting things or of making things happen with our mind. It's just a question of being dedicated, of focusing, and of working on it. Hey, Kat, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. I also started learning OBS to start a podcast. I have a few episodes under my belt. It's so good, Tal. I love this. I love this. So answer one of those 3 questions right now in chat or on a notebook or on a piece of paper or your notes app or whatever you've got. Who do I want to be today? What will I focus on today to move closer to my goals? How will I make a positive impact? Give yourself a second to do that. Who do I want to be today? I want to be someone who prioritizes my health. Who do I want to be today? I want to be a positive man who's here to serve other people. Who do I want to be today? I want to be a person who communicates with clarity. Who do I want to be today? I want to be a person who helps other people become better. Who do I want to be today? I want to be someone who encourages people. Who do I want to be today? I want to be someone who is confident today. Who do you want to be today? And then what am I going to do today? What am I going to focus on today? I'm going to focus on the way that people react to the way that I talk to them. I'm going to focus on whether or not I'm actually recognizing the feelings that I'm having at any moment. What am I going to focus on today? I'm going to focus on my health, the way I feel about my health today. I'm going to make notes about that. What am I going to focus on today? I'm going to focus on doing things that will make me stronger, that will make me better. I want to be sedated. Doing well. Lots of cleaning today. That's great. Cleaning is good. All right. So as you're doing that, as you're answering that question for yourself there, I want you to, so that's your morning questions. And then I just want you at the end of your day, I want you to end your evening by asking yourself 3 more questions. So you got 3 questions in the morning, 3 questions at night. Now, if you want to get really advanced, I have my 7 commitments planner. It's available for free. Again, all you got to do is go to my website, ideatrainingacademy.com, shoot me your email, or go to the Discord and shoot me a DM, and I will absolutely send all of those things to you completely free of charge. The vast majority of things I do, guys, completely free of charge because I want to help you grow. So the 3 questions you're going to ask in the evening to reflect are: how did I show up today? How did I show up today? Right? Was I a positive man who came to serve? Was I someone who looked after their fitness first? Was I someone who cared about the way that I talk to people? How did I show up today? What progress did I make? Did I if the goal that I'm working on right now is helping more people out, helping someone every day grow better, did I make progress towards that? Did I get another coaching client? Did I find somebody else in one of the organizations that I'm working with that I can lift up, that I can give more energy to, that I can put more effort into helping them grow? What progress did I make? And then number 3, what am I proud of? What am I proud of? What did I do today that was great? Because here's the thing, you got to recognize what you do that's great. I ask people this question in an interview. I ask them, "What tell me what you're proud of in your life. Like what are you proud of?" And you wouldn't believe how many people can't answer that question. I want you to be proud of the things that you do well, my friends. I want you to be really proud of them. Not to the degree of hubris, right? I don't want you to have pride before the gods on these things. I don't want you to go around saying I'm better than people because of what I've accomplished. But I want you to know the things that you've done that are great, right? Listen, I over the course of the last 3 years, I helped build a team that's not only one of the most successful teams in their field, but they're also a model for all of the other teams that do that same thing in this state. I'm proud of that. I worked really hard on that. And it was a total team effort. We all came together, we all worked together, but I'm proud of the part that I played. You got to be proud of things. So third question you're going to ask yourself at the end of the day, what am I proud of? And if you can't think of something you're proud of, then what are you grateful for? Positive impact. I had a near miss today at work. Instead of just getting mad, I controlled my anger and asked the associate why he was there, where he was, instead of in the walk. Find how dangerous his actions were. That's great. I love it. Take mastery over your emotions. Listen, emotions, we have emotions because of the things that we've experienced in our lives. But just like Brendon Burchard says, but we can control our feelings. So you might have that emotion of anger, but you control the way you react to it. I love that. So good. What was the third point, psychotic? The 3 morning questions are: who do I want to be today? What will I focus on to move closer to my goals? And how will I make a positive impact? Those are the 3. Where's the line between pride and humility in our works and deeds? That's a great question, Head of Steel. Here's what I think. The line between pride and humility is here. It's really interesting. I talked to a board chairman recently, and I was talking to her about her. She had to evaluate the CEO of a company. I said, one of the organizational values that I think is really important for a leader is humility. And she said, humility? I don't want humility in a CEO. That's ridiculous. Why would I want somebody to be humble who's supposed to be leading the charge? And I said, because what humility means is that your leader is more concerned about the success of the organization than he's concerned about his own personal success. So the line between pride and humility, Head of Steel, pride, like bad pride, big P, bad pride, hubris, says, I am better or more important than other people because of the things that I did well. Humility says, the world got a little bit better today because I did good, right? That team I was talking about before, the world's better because of them, right? And I'm really proud that I helped them get to where they're at. But that doesn't make me better than anybody else. That doesn't mean somebody else couldn't have done that. It means I was privileged to be there. And so I think that's it, right? It's the gratitude quotient is really what you're asking about is when you're proud of something, do you experience it as gratitude? I'm so grateful. I was, excuse me, I'm so grateful I was able to be a part of that. Or do you experience it as a sense of, well, I mean, look at me. I did it again, guys, right? People should really be recognizing me for this. Not that you don't deserve to be recognized, but if recognition is what you're looking for, that's pride, right? And we want humility. We want to focus on humility. Mookie, my problem is having the mindset is one thing, but waking up every day and keeping that and putting it into action is a different story. So Mookie, this is the concept of inertia. I talked a little bit about this last week, right? Inertia says that an object in motion tends to stay in motion, but the problem is that we live in a world with gravity and with friction. And so, even though you can kick a ball and put it in motion, that kick comes in the morning. But over the day, the weight of gravity and the rubbing of friction, that's going to slow that thing down. You got to find ways, you got to structure your day so that there's little kicks throughout the day, just little nudges to that ball. And one of those things is checking in with yourself throughout the day. Psychotic, I want to be a happier person. I'm going to focus on not being trapped in my own thoughts. I won't let my thoughts impact how I interact with others. I love this. So there is a little P in team. There's a little P in team. I would agree with that. I'm not very successful at that, especially lately, but I'm trying. Psychotic, the first most important thing is that you're trying. The second most important thing, actually, probably the first most important thing, is that you're aware. The second most important thing is that you're trying. The third thing, what's going to move you through to victory, is determining what's working and what's not working, right? So those are the 3 morning questions and the 3 evening questions. And I know we're almost out of time, but I got one last thing for you today, guys. Here's one last thing. And this is how I would like to help you start the new year the right way. How I would excuse me. I just choked myself. Well, that's gonna make for a great clip. Excuse me. Here's how I'm gonna help you. By not dying. I am introducing today, exclusively on these streams, I'm introducing the 30-day accountability challenge. Now, I talked to you, I choke on water a ton, it's the worst. I talked to you earlier about how the third obstacle, and maybe the biggest one, is lack of accountability. And that's one of the reasons we don't get to where we want. That's one of the reasons we're not successful at things because we don't have accountability. So I'm introducing today the 30-day accountability challenge. Dying is bad for your health. Good point. The 30-day accountability challenge is 30 days in the month of January. And here's what it is. It is a program that I'm going to design where every single day you're going to get motivation to work on something that you want to change. So it's one change, one thing that you want to focus on, just getting a little bit better at that one thing. 30-day accountability challenge. And here's how it works. Now, I am offering this to everyone who watches my streams. Darn ads. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I guess I'll wait for 41 seconds. But yeah, this challenge, this came to me today because a couple years ago when I first, or last year, sorry, when I first wrote my book, when I wrote the manuscript of my book, the reason that I was able to do that is because I jumped in. I was scrolling through Instagram one day and I kept seeing this dude and he's like, hey, I always wanted to write a book, but then I would never write a book. And that was terrible. But then one day I came on a system that helped me write a book, and then I refined it and I refined it. And now I can write a book in 30 days. And he's like, if you join up to my challenge, I will help you write a book in 30 days. And so I joined up to the challenge and I did not write my book in 30 days, but I did get the book written. So I lagged out in some of the process, but I did get it written. And I honestly believe that without that challenge, I wouldn't have gotten it done. So it looks like we're back from ads. Welcome back. I apologize for that. I'm talking about the 30-day accountability challenge. Now, here's the thing, guys. I am offering this totally free to anyone who wants to participate. This is not going to cost you a single dollar if you don't want it to, right? So here's what I'm offering for you right now. The 30-day accountability challenge What it is, it's going to be 30 days of prompting and of encouragement and of ways for you to get moving to change that one single thing. So what are you going to get? You're going to get daily accountability prompts. So every morning and every evening, I'm going to send you I'm going to send you an email or a message, and you're going to get an email that's going to give you prompts, right? That are going to help you set yourself up for success that day. We're going to do a kickoff live session. So I'm actually going to jump into a call, and you can jump into that call with me. It'll be a Zoom call. We're going to jump into a call, and I'm going to take questions and answers from you on that day. So if you have questions you want, you'll be able to ask me live on that day. Don't have to come on camera. Don't have to do anything. You can type in chat just like you are right now. We're going to do a kickoff live session. Um, you're gonna get weekly email check-ins from me. So every single person who signs up for this challenge, you're gonna get a weekly email check-in from me, and I'm gonna send you tips, reminders, encouragement. I'm gonna send you things based on what you're focused on, based on what you want to change. I'm gonna tailor that to everyone who's in this challenge. You're gonna get those from me every single day or every single week. Sorry. So every day you're gonna get prompts from me, and every week you're gonna get an email from me checking in on you, letting you know how you're going. So you ask like, how am I going to get better at this thing? Where do I need? How am I going to build the accountability? I'm going to help you do this. We're going to do it together. And then the last thing is you'll get access to the public community forum. So there's going to be a general. I'm going to create a Facebook group, and I'm going to create a channel on the Discord. And you'll have access to those two spaces, whichever one that you're most comfortable with. I know we have some people who watch on YouTube, maybe who aren't in the Discord space, and some people on Twitch who are more comfortable in Discord. So I'm going to create those two groups so that you guys can share uh, and make connections with each other, with the other people who are in the challenge. Because one of the things that we find makes people succeed is when other people are striving with them and they're talking about it, right? Now, I'm not gonna. When do you plan on doing the kickoff? Can we do that weekend or later during the weekend or later in the day? Tal, once I've got everybody in who wants to be in the challenge, we'll schedule it out. We'll probably throw out a poll and see what the best time is for the majority of people. I'm guessing there's probably no way we'll get everybody together, but I will record it. Also, Carter, what's going on? Your jacket looks great on me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love this jacket. It's my favorite jacket. All right. So now here's the thing, and I'm not going to dwell long on this, but I am going to say, if you want to step it up a little bit, you want to step it up a little bit. I am offering a premium level to this challenge, right? Okay, and this I don't want to make it expensive. I recognize like it's post Christmas. So here's the thing, but I also recognize that some people are really dedicated to their growth and they want a little more help, right? So you're gonna get some great stuff for free. But, at the premium level, which is $49, if you, excuse me, uh, if you sign up before, I'm gonna say before the 26th. So this way, if you wanna give it as a Christmas present, you can. So if you sign up before the 26th, I'm gonna offer you an early bird price of $39 for this. It's $49 though, and, you'll get a little bit of extra support. So you get everything that we just talked about. Plus, you're gonna get, weekly live group coaching sessions. And so there will be a weekly Zoom call that you can jump on with the other people who are also in this tier, and, we will talk through, and it'll be probably super small, super intimate, and I will do direct coaching with that group. And then you'll also have exclusive access to a private group that is moderated by me and my team. So you'll be able to have a little closer knit community. And then I'm also offering some enhanced materials to those people. Where I've got some trackers that I'm creating right now, some goal setting templates. There's a reflection journal that I'm working on for you right now. So a lot of those things, there will be some bonus guides, and we will do special sessions at day 15 and day 30 to celebrate your progress. Okay, so all of that stuff is going to come at the premium tier. The big thing there is the live group coaching sessions, and then also I'm going to offer a VIP level tier. This is $149, $129 if you get in before the 26th. And this is a high touch version of this. And so this is if you're really dedicated, if you want to make a change in your life in 30 days, here's what I'm telling you: $149, $129 if you get in early. You're going to get one-on-one coaching sessions. I'm going to offer you over the course of the 30 days, I'm going to offer you two 30-minute private coaching calls. These coaching calls that I do, the 30-minute coaching calls, those typically are those are gonna cost about $125 each. So you're getting more value out of the 149 or the 129 just with those two coaching sessions. But I'm also going to offer you more tailored feedback. So there's going to be more specific feedback that's directly to your goals, your reflections, those tracker entries, things like that. I'm going to work one on one with you to build a customized accountability plan at the end of the challenge. And so we're going to talk about how you carry that out beyond the 30 days. So we'll do a special plan that's just for you to help you carry your accountability beyond the 30 days. And then we will also have for that group an exclusive VIP only group chat, which will give you direct access to me and to the other VIPs as well. That will likely probably be a text line, so that you'll be able to text any time of the day. So that's what I got going on. Again, I wanted to touch on those other tiers because I know there are some people who might be interested in that. But I want to reiterate that this is completely free. The free tier is available to everyone. I want to make sure that you know that. Do you accept payments for the higher tier, like a payment plan, Tal? I don't currently have a payment plan set up. I will look into that and see if that's a possibility with my payment reception team. If they that's something we can do, and I'll post more. So there'll be more about this coming up in the Discord this week. There'll be more on my social media. I'll throw that out. So if you're not attached to me, again, here on Twitch, or if you squine on YouTube, you can find me at Andrew Burkham. It's my full name. If you want any links to any of this, just ideatrainingacademy.com. Go to my website, ideatrainingacademy.com, and hit me up over there. If you're interested in the challenge, okay, if you're interested, if you just want the details, if you just want me to send you the details, again, all I'm asking you to do is go to ideatrainingacademy.com, go over there, put your email in the top box. It says, what does it say? It says, I've totally forgotten now. I'll have to look it up. Where are you? There we are. It says, I have the website up. It says, make 2025 your best year ever. Enter your email here to learn how to make a change in 2025 with a 30-day accountability challenge. So all you got to do is put your email in there, click the sign up link, and you will get the full explanation there. If you're interested in the higher price tiers, it'll also give you information on how we can do payment on that as well. Riddle Boys, you're the funny man. Do you want a joke? Riddle Boys, I would love to have a joke. Go ahead and hit us with a joke here at the end. Listen, guys. Okay, so the 30-day challenge is exciting, but what's more exciting to me right now is that you're going to be dedicated to making 2025 the best year ever. I hope that you believe that. I believe it for you. And you know what? I'm going to take it a step more. I know that you have the ability to make 2025 the best year ever. So let's hear it, guys. Let's hear some belief from you. I want to hear you believe in yourself. I want to know that you know that whatever happens, we're getting out of 2025 way better than we got out of 2024. We will make it better. Let's go. I love that so much. Listen, guys, it has been my privilege to be with you today. I love this so much. I love you guys so much. I am so excited for your future. Your future is better than you could possibly imagine, but you better start because you have a moment of greatness that is waiting for you, but it's not coming for you. You got to pursue your moment. Be great. I'll see you next time.